Hey, I'm Michael Smith, CEO of Bluefield Realty Group. Now, last week we talked about radon, and this week we're talking about another environmental hazard, and that is mold. Now, mold thrives in environments with high moisture levels, and long-term exposure can lead to significant health concerns, so it needs to be taken seriously. And you can test the spore count in the air through what's called an air quality test. Now, there is one major difference between radon and mold as far as our contract is concerned, and that is determining at what point remediation is necessary. The South Carolina contract does say in the repair procedure section that the seller will address any environmental hazards. However, with radon, it's very black and white. At 4 picocuries per liter, the EPA has determined that is an unsafe level and remediation is necessary. There's not really that gold standard when it comes to mold spore count, so it's much more of a gray area. So with radon, once it's at that certain level, it's very clear that the seller is contractually obligated to remediate the radon. But with mold, at that point, it's really more of a negotiation. If you feel the spore counts are elevated, but the seller is unwilling to perform remediation, ultimately a judge will decide, based on expert testimonies and the reports provided, whether or not the seller was willing to carry out their contractual obligations. Because elevated mold levels in the air can lead to health problems, it should be on the list of inspections you're considering when you're under contract to purchase a home. Now, it's worth noting that most home inspectors do offer air quality testing as an add-on, so it's very possible that you can hire one inspector to do your home inspection, termite inspection, radon test, and air quality test. If you have any other questions about which inspections you should be considering when purchasing a home, feel free to call or email us, and one of our top agents will reach out to you. At Bluefield Realty Group, we strive to be your guide throughout the real estate process, minimizing stress and maximizing results. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.